Today's subject matter will be the worst outcome. Many times we think the worst outcome is if we don't get what we desire or if we suffer. But there's actually a far worse outcome that we're all experiencing currently. And it's going to be highlighted in this portion of the Bhagavatam. So we should understand this thing. But before we begin, let's go. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiraya. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer their respectful obeisance on the Supreme Personality of God and Narayan. To Narayan, reach the supremest human being, and to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Shrinvatam svakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtana hridyantastoya badrani vedhunoti suritsatam. Sri Krishna, who is Paramatma, the super soul within the heart of each living entity, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanse the heart of material desires of the devotee who has felt the urge to hear his messages, which are themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Nashta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati utamash loke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular hearing of the Bhagavatam, by rendering service to the pure devotee, almost all that is troublesome to the heart is completely destroyed in love of the Supreme Personality of God, whose praise with transcendental songs establishes an irrevocable fact. Good morning, Craig. Hare Krishna. Nice to see you back. And yes, so let's do our best effort here to cleanse our plaguing material desires, which are causing us so much suffering. And by hearing the messages of the Bhagavatam, all the suffering and troubles that are plaguing us due to all of our material desires can actually be relieved. And love for God can come instead of troubles in the mind. So that sounds like a good deal. Would you like to trade? You can cash out on your troubles and you can get love for God instead. Does that sound nice? What do you think of? Any good deal or no?
All right.
It's a good deal? Okay. Yes, if you... Obviously, right? No one wants trouble, but trouble is here. So but you can cash out by just paying attention. Actually, we're learning a verse. Let me see if I can remember it. It goes... now I'm on the spot. It's a Bhagavad Gita verse. Kachid etach shrutang partha. So Krishna is speaking to a Bhagavad Gita. It's at the very end. He says, whether this whole Bhagavad Gita he's just speaking. Shrutam has been heard, partha, and then he says, why am I blanking now? Tvayai kagrena chetasa. So tvaya is unto you. He's speaking. Eka agrena. Have you one pointed attention? So have you heard this with one pointed attention? Tvayai kagrena chetasa, in mind. So has your mind been focused on this in one pointed attention? He's saying. And then he's saying next, kachid, again, whether he's asking, agyana sammoha, has your ignorance and illusion, and then he says, pranastas te dhananjaya, has your ignorance been dispelled? Te is your, Dhananjaya. So Partha, son of Pritha, and Dhananjaya is the holder of the bow. Has your ignorance and illusion been dispelled? And how? He says earlier, have you heard this with one pointed attention? So this is actually very, very important because what's happening here is we are misunderstanding reality. And what's the misunderstanding of reality? Is we are in illusion thinking and making the mistake of thinking that dualistic things or this material world has prominence. This is the fundamental illusion that we're making. And what is causing us to perpetuate this illusion is we get distracted. It's called pramada. There's these 4 defects. You've heard of these defects of the living entity? The first is Brahm. We make a mistake. What is reality? Oh, yes, dualism is reality, rather than Advaita Gyan, or understanding the unification of all things, that God is the substance, the sum and substance of all of reality. But what happens is, one, we make that mistake, and then that mistake gets perpetuated by pramada, it's called. And this pramada is, we are just too distracted. Even that we can't really think deeply into something. We never have really deep considerations because it's just like, okay, what's life? Ooh, shiny. This is shiny over here, and you go, oh my, ooh, good food. Ooh, TV show. Ooh, this thing, that thing, the other thing, and then you're running everywhere. Ooh, sports. Ooh, pretty boy, pretty girl, like this, and then next thing you know, you're just gonna keep going deeper into illusion. And then you're, going to be acting in all kinds of way to secure all those things and then you actually end up cheat others and you cheat yourself. This is called vipralipsa. And then ultimately the reason we do this is because we have what's called, Karanapadav? Yes, Karanapadav. We have imperfect senses. And we think that these meager senses for perceiving reality that this body has, this is the all in all. Even though scientifically it's proven, the eyes can see only a narrow band, between infrared and ultraviolet. That's why the rainbow, it's all you can see. It starts at red, goes up to violet, and you can't see any more. But even actually the whole span of white light, the eyes can't see all the things, right? And then, the ears similarly can only hear a certain bandwidth, But still we think everything's all in all. What I see, what I perceive, this is reality. And this is how it's just finished. This is how our illusion takes place. But if you go back to the beginning, if you don't make the mistake of misunderstanding reality, and you can try to focus on what is the actual reality, and you don't make the mistake of getting distracted by all the shiny things. Maharaj told a really nice story about the material world. It was about a morning walk with Prabhupada. And one of the disciples, they left Prabhupada and they went, oh my gosh, and they ran and they saw on the beach, it was a morning walk on the beach, and they saw what looked like gold. And so they went and picked it up, but it was just the sun was shining on a broken beer bottle. And the way that the brown broken beer bottle, the sun was hitting it, gave like a golden shimmer. And then he picked it up. And Prabhupada, he remarked, he came back kind of embarrassed by, sorry Prabhupada, and these things, this is the material world. It's shiny and it looks like, it's something, but it's not. It's broken glass. And, you've heard actually, Dhruv Maharaj, he says this exact thing. I was praying for this thing, but now when I see you, Vishnu, this is broken glass in comparison. So this is actually a fundamental mistake that we're making in life. So in order to overcome this mistake, everyone has some realization, there's a reality of God. Every one of you. You wouldn't come to Bhagavatam, you wouldn't come here. You have some inclination or inkling that I think there is a reality of God. Now the next step, how do you get out of the next layer of illusion? You have to focus. You have to focus very, very intently on this thing. If you don't focus, then you get distracted. You'll never really get to deeply penetrate reality. You'll just kind of like, Hare Krishna, but then the mind is still on material things. But you have to focus very deeply. So this is actually one of the things we have to focus on very deeply. What is Bhagavatam? What is Krishna's message? And if we hear this intently, like we were mentioning this verse, like Krishna asked Arjuna at the end of Bhagavad Gita, then we can get it. But if we don't, if we kind of just, all right, Swami's here, whatever, no problem, and even if he comes, then we get a little distracted or very distracted. Then we don't get as much, and even myself, we're trying to offer something. There's something to be offered, not the total package, but there might, if you pay attention, go deeply into this, you can make a lot of advancement. And if we don't, then even if I have the most amazing thing to give, it cannot be given because we're not ready to receive. So it's very important to pay special attention. So as highlighted by this verse in Bhagavad Gita. But before we do so, what do we have to pay attention to? We have a class on Thursday. We have to recite shlokas, so I'm just reciting them to you. But one of the principles in how do you actually receive Vedic knowledge? It's Guru Parampara Dwara Prapt Veda Vakya, which means, so the only way to get real evidence is knowledge coming in Guru Parampara. So we're taking this Bhagavatam. The purports are in Guru Parampara by Swami Srila Prabhupada. Here, you're also seeing that he received this in Guru Parampara. You're also seeing that this has all been preserved by our lineage of acharyas. And the proper way to begin any class is to glorify them. And that's what these mantras that we chant do. We're glorifying our Guru Parampara. We're asking to get connected to the mercy of Guru Parampara. And I'm begging that anything I say is in accordance with the conclusions of Guru Parampara, and that the transfer can be made to you. If there is some transfer of divine wisdom, it can be made to you, and that's how it comes, by the mercy of Guru Parampara. So all together, you know these mantras. Again, here we go. We have the revealed scriptures here that will give us Krishna's message. Let's try and pay attention to this thing. Try to, at least for some time, any of the processes of bhakti, even when you're singing the bhajans in the morning, you're chanting Hare Krishna, you're chanting japa, you're hearing Bhagavatam, you're reading. Any process of bhakti that you're practicing, it requires your attention. It's not a mechanical thing. Mechanical means like externally body is doing, but mind is on a tour. Like, oh my God, my money, how am I going to get this? Like this, we're doing all these things, right? But actually, all of the things, when singing, when all these things, they need to be done with attention to really benefit with them. So, this is what we're trying to do. Apis vitpaya bhunktas tvang Sambojyan vridha balakan Jugupsitang karma kinchit Kritavanaya rakshamam Apis vit, if it were so that Parya, by leaving aside, Bhunkta, have dined, Tvam, yourself, Sambojyan, deserving to dine together, Vridha, the old men, Balakan, boys, Jugupsitam, abominable, Karma, action, Kinchit, something, Kritavan, you must have done, not, yet, that which, Akshamam, unpardonable. Have you not taken care of old men and boys who deserve to dine with you? Have you left them and taken your meals alone? Have you committed some unpardonable mistake which is considered to be abominable. It is the duty of a householder to feed first all of the children, the old members of the family, the Brahmins, and the invalids. Besides that, an ideal householder is required to call for any unknown hungry man to come and dine before he himself goes to take his meals. He is required to call for such a hungry man thrice on the road. The neglect of his prescribed duty of a householder, especially in the matter of the old men and children, is unpardonable. So we see this, right? We have guests here, and you guys do this quite well, but when we have guests, it's always important that we feed them before ourselves. Always important to do this. Even here, the priority should always be, to feed guests. When you live here after some time, eventually, then you live here. You're the actual householder at that point when you live somewhere. But it's very important. This is a part of Grihastha life that you actually, because your home is an ashram, that you invite others into your ashram home and you give them something nice. Give them shelter. Because most homes are not ashrams. Most homes are what's called grihamedi life. Grihamedi is trying to enjoy the home, but really the result, instead of enjoyment, they get misery in the home. And they become miserly because they're trying to preserve all these things and enjoy and make this the place of enjoyment. But actually, there can be no lasting enjoyment in grihamedi life, and it's said to be, by Prahlad Maharaj, a dark well in which you cannot get out of, actually. A very difficult situation. So it's very important that we, if we do want to have, go through life, we have some, duties in life. I'm going to be a PhD. We have 2 PhDs here, right? So I'm going to be a PhD and work and be successful in this field. It's actually very important that your home, that the result of that what you're maintaining becomes an ashram. So this is actually some of the ways that you do, we don't do this here. We don't actually go on the road like, is anybody hungry? This was the old kind of fashion type of thing. Especially in India, there are people all over the road at all times. You go out here and you start screaming for the local populace to come in to eat. They'll be like, this is very strange. But at the same time, it has to.
Concept of Bhandara in India.
What's that?
Bhandara. So what they do is like if you go to any temple outside, there are a lot of people coming in and they are like serving.
Yes.
Not in temples also. They will put a tent on the street and they will do that.
Yes.
And anybody can come.
You see this. For instance, if you do Govardhan Parikram, always a very popular stop on Govardhan Parikram is they have devotees who are just they make khichdi every day and they serve all the guests that come by for khichdi. Thousands of people every day coming by. This is actually the proper. Avani was very sweet to see. The other day she asked a question to Maharaj when he was talking about how the police, they were stopping the distribution of food for the homeless in England. And she said, why would they do such a thing? Because you'd think, why would you ever do such a thing? But because they don't have this understanding of culture. They see, you'll help perpetuate the homeless problem, giving free food out. Why do grocery stores, they throw out most of their thing? The same thing, why would we give free food when people are supposed to come here and buy the food from us? It'll create a problem. Then people will just know, they'll throw out the food, so we won't go to buy. But actually it's, they're not understanding some of the deep parts of religious and ideal culture to be merciful unto others. So, have you not taken care of old men and boys who deserve to dine with you? Have you left them and taken your meals alone? So this is, we shouldn't leave. I personally have a standard in my life that I have to make sure, everyone has to eat first in the day before I eat. That's my own standard here, because this is my home, so to speak. There's a couple other reasons why I do it too. It keeps me a bit more regulated. But I do honestly, I don't know if I should, but I do take my meals alone usually or with my wife, but I like to listen to lectures during my meals. I don't know if that's bona fide. But yeah, so that's my personal program. But have you committed some unpardonable mistake, which is considered to be abominable? So these are some reasons to lament. When we make mistakes, it's going to happen. Especially when you read Shastra, you hear Shastra, you'll realize, ooh, I am not doing that. I'm way off from what that standard is. And actually, if you have some humility, you'll realize, no, I should be better. I should do better. So like this, remember Arjuna's upset. So Yudhishthira is trying to go through all the reasons. But actually the reason this is here, because everything in the Bhagavatam is didactic. I mean, it's meant to teach you something. It's meant to teach all of us. We should be upset when these things happen in our life. Instead of doing these things, we should actually be upset that, wow, why have I let this happen? Why have I transgressed religious principles? We should actually feel this way. So every beginning of any religious teaching is you should be repentant. You should be repentant. You should not feel, oh yes, I'm perfect. Everything I'm doing is wonderful. No. This is huge illusory thinking, to think that everything that you've done is wonderful. Actually, the sincere person who wants to make any advancement should be very humble and realize, I'm messing up here. I'm just doing so much, I'm messing up. And they try very sincerely to correct their activities, actually. And then they can have a wonderful result of life. But anyone who's very arrogant and proud of their activity, no, I do this very, very, fixed. You could say this is the cheating propensity, very fixed. No, I'm right. What I've done is right. Yes. Okay. And then if you do like this, you'll further yourself in illusion, actually. This is how we go deeper into illusion, vipralipsa. It's not always cheating others. Actually, many times we cheat ourselves, trying to justify our activities against what God is recommending. So, this is, we have to be careful. All these layers of illusion are so deep, actually. All these layers of illusion are so deep. But anyway, we'll see what some of the next things that will make us feel, reasons for our misery. So, Kachit preshtatamenatha Hridayenatma bandhuna Shunyosmi rahito nityam Manyasete nyatanaru Kachit, whether preshtatamena, unto the most dear one, Atha, my brother Arjuna, Hridayena, most intimate, Atma bandhuna, own friend, Lord Krishna. Shunya, void. Oh, Shunya. Shunya means void. Asmi, I am. Rahita, having lost. Nityam, for all time. Manyase, you think. Te, your. Anyatha, otherwise. Na, never. Ruk, mental distress. Or is it that you are feeling empty for all time because you might have lost your most intimate friend, Lord Krishna? Oh, my brother Arjuna, I can think of no other reason for your becoming so dejected. Purport. All the inquisitiveness of Maharaj Yudhishthira about the world situation was already conjectured by Maharaj Yudhishthira on the basis of Lord Krishna's disappearance from the vision of the world, and this was now disclosed by him because of the acute dejection of Arjuna, very severe, troubling of Arjuna, which could not have been possible otherwise. So even though he was doubtful about it, he was obliged to inquire frankly from Arjuna on the basis of Sri Narada's indication. So we remember Narada foretold this, that Krishna will leave, and when that happens, you will all have to retire and give up this world. And Yudhishthira started seeing all the negative omens. Arjuna finally comes back, and then he's so dejected, and now Yudhishthira is, kind of panicking. Has it happened? Has Krishna left us? And actually, this is the ultimate source of misery, actually. And actually, we should all, if we're really inquisitive about our life, we should lament very bitterly, because this is the reality right now, that we are separated from Krishna, and that our most intimate friend, God, who has set into motion our existence and has been helping us, guide us through our existence without us even knowing. We not only have we turned away from God, but we don't know how to turn back towards Him. We have no idea. So we chant Hare Krishna, but the mind is so habituated to turning away towards God and finding all of the broken glass of this material world. It's so habituated in this way that we don't even know where to start on turning back towards God. Luckily, we don't have to do it alone. We have sadhu, sangha. We have devotees who are realized in these things. We have the shastras that are guiding us to do these things, and if we learn them under the guidance of the Lord's empowered servants, we can actually get the benefit. So this is the ultimate source of misery. This is what a devotee is miserable for. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we sang in Shikshastakam every morning, Nayanam Galadashrudadaya Vadanam Gadgada Ridhaya Gita Pulake Nichitam Vapukada Tavanama Gane Bhavishyati. And before he says that, he says, Nam Namakari Bahudas Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapitani Amita Smarane Nakalaha Etadashitava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Dor Daiva Midishami Hajani Nanuragaha. So he's saying, Nam, your name, Akari, has manifested, Bahuda, many varieties, Nija Sarva Shaktis, with all of your personal potency. All of your personal potencies contained in your name, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. But then he is saying, Nija Sarva Shaktis, Tacharpita, in this regard, there is bestowed upon these names niyamita of the niyamita smarana nakalaha, means there's the rules and the ability to remember them. There's no rules, hard and fast rules for chanting these names. You can always approach these names, which are giving everything. There's no time as well that you can't do it. I'm going in the bathroom, I can't chant. You could still sing bhajans in the bathroom. You're showering, you're passing, whatever you have to do, you can still chant, no problem. Yes, sing the Lord's names. Yes?
Sleep.
What's that?
Sleep.
In sleep, that would be wonderful. Usually the attention is lost in sleep. But that would be so wonderful if you can chant in sleep. Advanced devotees can do like this, actually. But not me. When I sleep, I'm just like a sack of potatoes. And, just the life air is still coming out in me. But, yes.
I just watched yesterday a video of a 3-year-old boy chanting Harinam in his sleep.
He's very advanced. He must be born in devotee family and coming from many, many advancements in lifetimes. But myself, I cannot chant in sleep. Sometimes I can dream about devotional things.
Even so in the chanting, the body without consciousness also is vibrating with Lord's name. Such a beautiful.
Yes, this is, hopefully Aviram can learn this thing.
The only dreams I've had a couple of dreams lately where Madhava and I are discussing what we're going to make to eat, food stuff.
That's wonderful, actually. That's wonderful. You offering it to the Lord. I've been having dreams lately of my son. He keeps falling in the dream, and I keep missing him, and he keeps hits the ground, and I'm like, no. It's like a huge worry of mine because he's yet to get hurt even once in his.
That actually happens a lot with
Yeah.
parents. We have those fearful dreams.
Yeah, I have these fears that he's going to hurt himself.
Screaming last night.
Yes, he was screaming. He wakes up if he's hungry. He will scream. That's usually at some point in the night. But yes, I keep having dreams in this because I'm attached. But yeah, that would be wonderful. But there's no bar to chanting. The Lord's name is filled with all of His potency, but because we cannot give them the proper attention, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Tacharpita Nimita Smarnena Kalaha Etadashi. So much Tava, your Kripa, mercy. Etadashi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamampi. Oh Lord, this is you're willing to give your mercy to me via these names. But although Dordaiva, misfortune, Durdaivam idrisham is such. Iha, in this world, ajani means birth. Iha, that which is taking birth, nanuragaha, no attachment. No attachment has taken birth in my life. Even though you're giving us so much mercy, no attachment to this mercy at all. I have no attachment at all for calling out to you. Even though I could at any time turn my attention to you and call to you and get great bliss, I have no attachment for this. Does anyone else have this realization in your life? I have no attachment for doing this activity. Chanting, I can't even stand, I can't even stomach it. I've heard from the scriptures, I've heard from sadhus, this is the best activity. I can't even sit for one round. I can't even sit for 2-3 mantras. This is a great misfortune. This is our misfortune. We're so engrossed, absorbed in dualism, that we can't even take the most merciful thing. No, I cannot turn my attention. Not even for a second. You see this, even you try to chant one round. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Then the mind is absorbed in, oh my God, what am I going to do later today? What am I going to, this thing, that thing, and the other thing. Everything except God. This is our great misfortune. So Lord Chaitanya later, he goes through what needs to happen internally. But then he says, Nayanam galadashrudara, when will tears come in my eyes when I chant your names? Nayanam galadashrudara, vadanam gadgadarudaya gira. Vadanam, when will my mouth tremble and my voice falter and choke up at the recitation of your names? Pulakar nichitam vapukada. When will the hairs of my body stand on end? The hairs covering my whole body stand on end at the recitation of your names. Tava namagrane bhavishati. When I'm calling your names. So, and then he says, Yugayitam nimeshana. And when this actually happens, a moment will feel like a yuga. Yugayitam nimeshana. Chakshusha pravishayitam. He says, then the eyes will actually stream torrents of tears. Shunyayitam jagat sarvam, the whole universe will feel empty. Govinda virahename. Why? Because, Lord, I'm realizing I'm separated from you. This is actually advancement. This is actually what it means. We should actually be in a distressed condition due to our separation from the Lord. Only in our prideful, arrogant state do we not realize the predicament we're in here. Only due to our pride, we're thinking, no, I'll figure it out. You cannot figure out birth, death, disease, and old age. It cannot be figured out. Oh, well, I'll just do good. I'll do good, and at death it'll be figured out. Yes, it will be figured out. You will not go to hell. If you just do good, you'll not go to hell. But you will come back in just like this same situation, how you're doing good now, and you'll be able to do a little more good in the next life. But your same problems will be there. Birth, death, disease, old age. It's not you just do a little good and you go back to Godhead. Or you do a little good and I'll go to heaven, or I'll get rewarded at death. No, what you do, where your consciousness is now, you will remain. That's what Krishna says. At death, whatever your consciousness is on, you will go right there. So if your consciousness right now is on material things, if you were to die, guess where you go next? Right back where your consciousness is. So if you're at death, oh my God, I'm losing my body, my wife, my kids, my family. You'll go right baby back with the wife, the kids, the family. Maybe you're in the next generation of that family. Maybe Krishna has an appropriate karmic, but you will go right back into family, worldly life in the next birth. And then you'll take birth again, and it'll, Abhiram is struggling to move, and you'll go through all the awkward stages of life. One of the wonderful things about becoming an adult is you finally go through so many of the awkward stages of life, right? Teenage years are so awkward, and middle school years you're so awkward, and you can't fulfill your desires, and then eventually, there's a lot of happy moments too, eventually baby and so on, but a lot of awkwardness. When you're born, you're completely dependent. Piyush is hearing Abhiram scream because he cannot fend for himself. Hey, I'm hungry, He's saying, oh. Or, sometimes some neglect happens from the parents. He has a rash and he can't express himself, and he's, that's why kids are, there's horror shows of what's happening now with babies. Everyone's commenting, oh, Abhiram, he looks so healthy, and he looks so happy and vibrant. It's actually, no, this is the natural state of a baby. But we do so many things in society via the medical system and via dietary things and pollution in the air, the water and things, that we're just like causing so much distress to babies where they're always crying and they're always like inflamed and in pain and things we don't even realize we're doing because our doctors are telling us to do these things. But actually, they're leading you into all kinds of, become a medical consumer and, join into their sick model. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that's not the point of where we're going in Bhagavatam. But actually, this is it's a very traumatic situation to be engrossed in birth, death, disease, and old age, especially if you're if you don't have enlightened parents. And me and my wife are trying our best to give the best parenting. Because everyone will make mistakes. Boom, it'll go into a crazy. It'll be very very distressful. So we don't want to come back here, actually. We should realize we're separated from the Lord. So, let's see what the response is to separation from the Lord. Sutu vacha evam Krishna sakha Krishno Bratraragya vikalpita Nana shankaspadang rupang Krishna Vishlesha Karshita Sutu Vacha. Sutta Goswami said, Evam, thus, Krishna Sakha, the celebrated friend of Krishna, Krishna, Arjuna, Bratra, by his elder brother, Ragya, King Yudhishthir, Vikalpita, speculated, Nana, various, Shanka Aspadam, based on many doubts, Rupam, forms, Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna, Vishlesha, feelings of separation, Karshita, became greatly bereaved. Sutta Goswami said, Arjuna, the celebrated friend of Lord Krishna, was grief-stricken because of his strong feeling of separation from Krishna, over and above all Maharaj Yudhishthir's speculative inquiries. Purport. Being too much aggrieved, Arjuna practically became choked up, and therefore it was not possible for him to reply properly to the various speculative inquiries of Maharaj Yudhishthir. This is actually a symptom. We were just talking about when will my vadanam gadgararudhayagira, when will my mouth be choked up in tears. This is actually a symptom of Arjuna's advancement, actually, to feel this acute separation from the Lord. When the Lord is present with you, you cannot help but feel overjoyed. Unless actually only Radharani, she can even feel separation even in being with Krishna. There's a really nice pastime of this. You want to know the pastime? You want to hear this pastime? Yes, it's very nice actually. So one time, Radharani and Krishna, they are, it's at the end of their Vrindavan pastimes. And they're sitting in a, secluded place. We always sing about these places in our morning prayers. Kadamba Kanana Rasa Parayana, all these Nikunja Rasa Vilasi, all these things we're saying when we sing in the morning, we're indicating these places that Radharani and Krishna meet. But one time, Radharani is sitting on Krishna's lap. As young lovers, this is an activity. Even husband and wife, intimate relation, the wife will sit. Even Lord Shiva, Parvati, sitting on the lap. This is a natural thing. So Radharani is sitting on the lap of Krishna. And Madhu Mangal is nearby, one of their intimate friends. And Madhu Mangal, he says something about, I think like a madhukar, like a bumblebee, and he was saying something indicating, I don't remember exactly what, that this bumblebee, you go from place to place and then you soon go to Mathura. And it's indicated to, she would also often refer to Krishna as a bumblebee who's going from gopi to gopi. And so it gets indicated, and also the end of the pastimes are winding up in Vrindavan, in this Bhoma Lila of the earth. So Radharani is anticipating, and even though she's sitting on Krishna's lap, she's thinking about Krishna leaving Vrindavan. And it's such a strong emotion is there that Krishna is going to leave, that she actually becomes completely bewildered. And even though she's literally sitting on Krishna's lap, she's crying in complete distress. And then Krishna, seeing Radharani's heart melt in separation from him, and then he also starts thinking about his leaving, because he also knows his pastimes. He knows that he's going to leave for Mathura. So he starts also thinking about his leaving. And then all of a sudden they're both, Radharani sitting physically on Krishna's lap, Krishna embracing Radharani from behind, but now they're both crying in separation from each other. But this is such a level of advancement where, everything becomes paradoxical in these divine exchanges, where in meeting they can feel separation, in separation they can feel meeting. Radharani, when Krishna is separated from him, she could actually embrace a tamal tree, which is it's not really like the color of Krishna, but it has a similar color, but it reminds her so much of Krishna that she embraces Krishna, and she'll feel the ecstasy of meeting and embracing Krishna. So this is very high level of devotional feelings. But this is also this is the mood that should be there, that Arjuna gets to be with Krishna his whole earthly pastimes. Krishna was always there the latter part of Arjuna's life, and he gets so much ecstasy. So now Krishna's not there, and he's just completely distraught. This should actually teach us we should feel separation too, not because we got to associate with Krishna, not because of that. We should feel separation because it seems almost hopeless. It seems almost hopeless. Look at this nectar of relationships that are here. But practically, when would that ever happen for me? We should feel like this, actually. So let's do one more verse because there's no purport. Shokena shushadvadana Hritsarojo hata prabha Vibhungtam eva nusmaran Na shaknot pratibhashitum Shokena, due to bereavement. Shushat vadana, drying up of the mouth. Hritsaroja, lotus-like heart. Hata, lost. Prabha, bodily luster. Vibhum, the supreme. Tam, unto Lord Krishna. Eva, certainly. Anusmaran, thinking within. Na, could not. Ashakano, be able. Pratibhashitum, properly replying. Due to grief, Arjuna's mouth and lotus-like heart had dried up. Therefore his body lost all luster. Now remembering the Supreme Lord, he could hardly utter a word in reply. We can see from our own life, maybe if anything, we were ever grief-stricken, the mouth will dry up. You'll feel dejected. Everyone will be like, are you okay? They'll notice your luster is decreased significantly. So this is actually, in relation to the Lord, this is an amazing feeling, actually. And this is actually, it can't be artificially, now, okay, starting tomorrow, Madhav and Parth will be rolling on the ground crying. We'll all start rolling on the ground crying. Oh, Krishna, where are you? It can't be done unnaturally, actually. But as you become more and more connected, and Krishna gradually reveals himself to you as you make advancement in bhakti, these feelings will start to gradually arise. So they say, my heart is as dry as can be, like a stone. So for me, I'm like everyone else, just thinking about all the material glitter of this world and trying my best to, maybe not even trying my best, but maybe making some humble attempt every day to try to rest my consciousness on the Lord. But yeah, when one actually does make advancement in this, nothing else will be acceptable in your life other than you approaching the Lord. And if we juxtapose that with our life, you might find it's different. Oh, nothing at all I can do makes me want to turn towards the Lord at all. We have to entice people with songs and food and fun and dance and like this. But actually, these things are directly connecting you to the Lord. But this is yeah, this is our unfortunate position. And this is Arjuna's. He's feeling this. When Krishna leaves, he can't even stomach existing anymore in this world. Why? He's an associate of the Lord. That's his identity. That's your identity too, actually. But we've imposed so many other, they're called upadis or designations. I'm a boy, I'm a girl, I'm from this family, this is my hometown, these are my friends, these are, like this. But actually that's not who you are at all. This is all subject to change. This was not true before your birth. This will not be true after you die. Who we really are, what's eternal? We are part and parcel of Krishna. We have a relationship. This is the most important relationship in all existence to cultivate. And all of the relationships of this world, if they are supportive of that eternal position, then yes, we should maintain them very nicely. But if they're not supporting that eternal position, yes, you can figure out that maybe you should reduce these relationships. But I've seen, even in my life, like you guys, I just saw my brother came up the other day, his girlfriend, my dad, when we can include them in participating in this eternal relationship, it's wonderful, actually. And actually, I got a lot of joy. I remember, me, Madhav, and my brother, I don't know if my dad was there, but we were all out swimming, and we were talking about, God, in Green Lakes. And it was very nourishing, actually. It was very nourishing to talk with my brother about something that was beneficial for him. And us, all of us, actually. It was very nourishing. But, if he wants to go to the baseball game and do these things and all these things, oh my God, I can't, I got so many things to do. Like this. But this is our kind of goal. How do we focus the attention on the Lord? Because we're in an unfortunate position. Arjuna is completely dejected due to his full focus on the Lord, and now the Lord has disappeared from his vision, and he just can't even do anything about it. But we are even though the Lord's there, he's giving us his holy name. This is the way that he's coming to all of the living entities in Kali Yuga, and all we have to do is just turn and call out his name. But I can't do it. I don't want to. I don't want to at all. So we have to regulate ourselves. All right, well, we know it's good for us, and we don't want to go to hell. We don't want to suffer, so okay, I'll set 1 rounder a day for myself to protect myself. All right, 2 rounds. But actually, that mechanical thing, yes, it might offer some protection. It does, actually. But that's not the very thing it could really give you the Lord himself if you actually sincerely did the endeavor. But who is even willing? We're so caught up by the glass. Oh, look at that shiny glass over there. And then Prabhupada, yes, this is my, thinking it's gold. It's not gold. All the happiness you can try and chase in this earth, it's not gold. Not all that glitters is gold, right? You heard that saying before? Not all that glitters is gold. Maya is glittering for everyone. Here you go. All the fancy foods you could eat in this world. All of the prospective sex life you can have in this world. All of the family happiness that you can have in this world. Money and career and prestige and all these, and honor from society. All these glitters. None of it's gold.
It's fleeting. It's also fleeting.
It's fleeting, and it's not even, if you actually break it down, it doesn't give you happiness. You get it?
The thing that's always bothered me the most, I remember a year, especially as a kid, summertime, away from school or going on vacation and thinking about, wow, it just goes by so quick.
Yeah. And even that, then you get to summertime and then you're like, all right, now what do I do? You're so relieved, I'm going to be out of school, summertime, yeah. And then you're like, yeah. And then you get to summertime, you're like, all right, now what? All right, I'll do this. I'll play video games. I'll do this. I've got my friends. But then ultimately you're like, I know by the time September, you're excited to go back to school. I wasn't always too excited, but I like the first week of school. The first week of school was kind of fun. I could see my friends again. We could do this, and then it just gets to the reality of school again. Like, oh, this sucks, and then you wait again to next summer. But this is the material world. You have this idea of it's gonna be great. I'll graduate, and you're happy for 2 days. And all right, now what? All right, well maybe I'll do this, and you get a whole new goal. And I'm gonna get this, and then you get it, and you're like, Mom. Like for instance, for years I was like, oh, when we just get this house, so many things will be better. And we got the house. We signed the contract. Practically nothing's different. Practically nothing is different. Yeah, I have to pay more money. Really. I have more responsibilities.
Yeah, you have to maintain it all.
Yeah, I have to maintain it. I have more responsibility. It's more burden, actually. But you think, all right, well, and then we have the baby. We're going to have a baby. Baby comes. Oh, now what do I do with him? Hare Krishna, I don't know what to do. And then you have this whole thing. And, and before that, when am I going to meet my wife? Oh, there she is. She circled 7 times. That's it. It's finished. The marriage is here. She locked herself in. Family, everyone saw it. Now what? We're together and sometimes fighting, sometimes happy, what to do. Yeah. Yes, it glitters, but it's not gold. And it's nothing against my wife. It's nothing against this house. It's just the material world. It glitters, but it's not gold. So don't chase the broken glass with the sun glitter on it. When you get there, you'll just be disappointed. Go for the gold. Precious jewels are there. The Lord.
Diamonds for free. I always think about my friend Janesh Ford's song that he wrote,
Diamonds for free. You have, but it's not free actually. Yeah. It doesn't cost you any money, but it's not free. It costs you your whole soul actually. It's Krishna consciousness. It'll cost you your consciousness. We sell our consciousness. That's why all these social medias are free. Why? It's not free. They're taking your consciousness. And they're directing your consciousness. They have targeted attacks. They want you to buy this, and they want you to believe these narratives, and they have all these things they're taking from you in your consciousness. But we're doing the opposite. We're saying Krishna consciousness. Put your consciousness on that which is actually gold, and that's God. But it's not free though. No money is cost. It doesn't cost you any money. That's why all our programs, free programs. Why? You shouldn't have to pay, but you do have to give something. You have to give your consciousness. So this is our endeavor. So thank you guys for practicing Krishna consciousness with us every day. I hope you have a nice day of not chasing thank you, Craig, for joining. We're very happy that you guys are here.